Yo, what's up, guys? It's Brett Pro Angel. Today, I'm just going to be doing an in-depth tutorial, similar to kind of what Pac's doing. I liked what he was doing so much that I thought it would just benefit the community by breaking down, play-by-play specifics in Sword Soul. I'm playing against Eldritch, so I just kind of want to go through this replay and show you guys exactly how we managed to break through Eldritch. So, sorry, I'm actually just recovering from being sick. So sorry if it sound like crap. But yeah, without further ado, here we go. So we're gonna see me finally win rock paper scissors shoe. All right. So here we have, we see we started out, pretty decent. Obviously, we don't know what we're playing against. So yeah, standby main. He gives me the good to go. Had to think hard. I honestly think Long Yun would probably. This hand is not that great if you guys really like just analyze it. Like I don't have a good starter, so I kind of have to do things another way. So we just go Long Yun, get Long Yun and a token. We don't make Baron here because there's really no point in making Baron because we're already down on resources. So we have no choice but to just play in a nib with this kind of hand. So we get a token. I'm just going to go ahead and just do the Ashina effects. And then from there, we get our Adhara because we're just going to want to add back Ashina again, conserve some resources. But yeah, we just opt to go Circle so we can actually get like a decent starter. So we get our Moyi. Thank God he didn't Ash that. That would have sucked. But, even if he did Ash that, we still have, you know, we have Taya and we have Longyun at Hara add back Ashina for follow up. So, there's a couple different routes I wanted to take this just to play it safe. So we get Mo Yi, and then we just go ahead. I probably could have just used Adhara right there to add back Ashina. Actually, that was actually correct to do that first. Um, but yeah, so I assume since he didn't interrupt me already, that the only other hand trap that I was concerned about would be Nibiru, which obviously I summon Mo Yi. That's gonna be the fourth summon with a token, so I wasn't necessarily concerned. I mean, he could have Imperm or Valor, but I was more so concerned about Nibiru with this hand, just because like Nib would have just shut everything down. So we get our token, and then we go ahead and do this play, add back our Ashina, and then we opt to just go ahead and make Chi Chainlink 1 Chi Chainlink 2 Moyi to draw. It's just to play it safe. He probably would have ashed the circle, but, you know, we run so many duplicates in this deck, it's okay to draw them because then that just gives you another, like, you search something else, and we are okay with this. So Imperm, that's rather good. So we have Chalice, Imperm for interruption. Since I don't know what I'm playing against, I don't search Protos. I don't search Protos with Emergence, and here's why. Because I personally don't like blind Protosing. Like, I don't think it's worth. Blind Protosing has lost me so many games when I first picked up this deck that I just learned you don't do that. You just want to hold it, or I'd rather, if it's game one, I'm going first, I'd rather just search a follow up rather than Protos, and Mo Yi is probably the best follow up. So, we just set to pass. In phase, no Nibiru, good, we are clear. So here, looking at the situation, we have Ashina. He knows that we have Ashina in hand, so we can reveal that off Mo Yi, so we don't have to give away the Tai. Looking at his hand is kind of cracked, not gonna lie. He draws Gozen. Gozen's not that great against this deck, which him drawing Gozen made this Mo Yi follow up insane. If I didn't search Mo Yi and I would have searched Protos, I would have lost to Gozen. So that's just a mental note. So he just decides to go Lord here. pitching his engine card, sends Imperm. If I was him, like, he most definitely should have sent Chang Ying. This card is very problematic for Eldridge, and you'll see why. Imperm is not that crazy. He was probably thinking it was a blackout, and he was trying to snipe one, but, he's like, crap, I picked the wrong one. In phase, he's going to go ahead and banish the Haquero. He's going to set Scarlet, and then I'm just going to go ahead and Chang Ying here. And, I didn't want to run into like a skill drain or some kind of floodgate that I would lose to. Goes and was like, I guess I wasn't too concerned about it. But, so instead of hitting the Scarlet, I decide to snipe one of the four just because I don't want to lose to like a skill drain or something along those lines. So we get to banish his Lord for free. It's just so free. And then we snipe the middle. So yeah, and it turned out to be a strike, so that was definitely a good hit. We draw into a blackout. That's probably the best possible card we could have drew against Eldridge. Standby main. We just go battle phase here. I don't want to like run into like a Torrential Tribute and would go down on resources, even though Chang Ying can protect itself. I thought it was just more optimal to just bait something out, get a Scarlet out of the way. Instead, he flips Gozen, and I'm like, oh, that's totally fine. So we proceed to attack with Chang Ying. He Ice Dragon Prisons. So here we baited out two of the interruptions. We got rid of one, the strike. So now all he has left is one unknown. And I'm okay with this because I have a lot going for me. So he's gonna banish the Shishao and the Chang Ying, which is pretty good. Not gonna lie, he probably feels really good about that. Thinks he's in a great spot. But then we just go Mo Yi, reveal the Tai. I should have revealed Ashina. I don't know what I was thinking there. I think maybe I just wanted him. I think I was trying to mind game him by revealing the Tai. So I revealed Tai. This is actually, I remember why I did this. So I revealed the Tai. He already knew Ashina. I gave away information on purpose because I wanted him to think I was wasting my normal and I wanted to bait this last interruption. So in his mind, if he knew I just had another normal summon, he'd be more prone to interrupt me. I think that's why I did it that way. And then we get a token because we are okay under Gozen. He flips Torrential Tribute, which that is exactly why I revealed Tai. I mean, he probably would have did that regardless, but he would have been more prone to do it if he knew I had another normal summon in hand. Alright, so Torrential Tribute wiped the board. We are okay with this. We just bring out Ashina, set Blackout, and call it a day from there. We're in a very good spot here. Alright, so now he's gonna get his Lord. I'm sorry guys, I'm so sick right now. But I gotta I gotta just like reveal this information. I feel like this was such a very educating match. Um, alright, so he's gonna just he misplayed definitely by doing that. I definitely wouldn't have went Scarlet there because now that's just free for Blackout. I don't need to pop the Lord. I could just pop his back rows and just call it a day. So here he gets his Conquistador, and now he has one unknown. I'm like, okay, here's my thought process. Don't know what the unknown is, but at this stage of the game, I don't really care. I mean, if it's skill drain, then that sucks, but you know what? I still think I'm in a good spot because, I mean, I gotta out the Hawk or Conquistador no matter what because that's just a free pop when I summon Tai. And then Gozen, obviously, that's the other obvious one. So yeah, we out the Gozen and the Conquistador, and then he just go ahead and chains it, which I'm like, okay, that's fine. The reason why, another good reason why I popped the Conquistador is he has a Lord on the field. I banished one. Most people only run two, so that means he has to get a Scarlet, which is unusable because I'm gonna have to out the Lord in order for him to use this. But if I try to Baxia him, then it's just game over. All right, and then I draw Vishuda. That's a really, really good draw here. So yeah, we go Vishuda first because we need to take care of that unknown back row. And then we go into a monk, and then that Vishuda is just gonna bounce the back row that's unknown. Obviously, Scarlet's just dead as crap, and then we can just proceed to Baxia him. So he's gonna banish Ashina, which is fine. Probably could have Ashina'd first, but I don't want to run through all the Tinnies that fast. So I think I did that on purpose. Plus, I mean, once I get to an Adhara, we're good. So Ashina's gone, and then we go Tai. We banish Blackout just in case. I mean, obviously we know what his back row is, but just to keep a normal monster on the field, so we can like resolve Circle. Um, we're looking pretty good here. And then we black out, get a token, and then we circle, get Hara, and then we're just going to, link these into the Baxia to spin back both. And then, yeah, it's not looking good for him because I have a lot going for me here. I mean, realistically, I could Baxia pop the token to get back Mo Yi, and then, yeah, we're gonna spin both. He's gonna try to chain, and we're like, yup, sorry, bro. And at that point, he realizes it's just game. We definitely sided in 3 Cosmic, a Duster, a Reboot, and 3 Lancia. We obviously take out Veilers. I took out Imperms going second. Um, yeah, those cards don't really, they have very minimal impact against Eldritch. So we drew double Ash. This is actually really good against a trap deck because, he plays the pot cards. Plus, if he like flips Sanguine on my turn, that just makes the second Ash live. So double Ash against this deck is really good. But he drew an insane hand. So yeah, we know we're playing into 4 back row. So yeah, Tinny plays definitely probably the best start. I was thinking about Torrential Tribute hard here. I'm like, yeah, how do I save resources, play around Judgment, not play in the Torrent? So I thought this would be the most optimal route, save the Ecclesia, and if he did try to Torrent me, I would circle. He said think. Apparently I didn't see him say think. So we go here, and then, yeah, this right here is to bait the Torrential. He's thinking, and I'm just thinking, please do it. But he didn't Torrential me yet. So I'm like, okay, yeah, we're fine. So we go into Baxia, because now we're going to try to spin 2, force something 100%. And if he does have Torrential, then he waited way too long. So now he's forced to Judgment this, which I'm like, cool. Now you're at 4K. Now we're just in a very winning position. He said think res, and he's going to IDP on the monk, targeting Vishuda. So here, I'm like, cute. My thought process is he's not going to be able to banish the monk because I'm just going to chain circle. I mean, if he has order, then he has order. But, it's this stage of the game. Like, order's not that very high impact against Sword Souls, so there's a possibility he could have sided it out. I thought I would have rather take my chances of getting a free search by getting rid of the monk and him getting my Vishuda. That way I can special summon Ecclesia. So that's the thought process behind that. So he's going to get Vishuda. And then I'm like, yep, chain circle. He doesn't have order. So I'm like, yay. We get, free search. So we search the Tai here. The reason why I searched Tai is just in case. I mean, obviously, I don't have a Worm or Sword Soul card in hand to reveal for Mo Yi. But plus, this allows me to just Baxia again. Baxia is not once per turn. So he gets Vishuda. I'm like, okay. So now we just have two more back row to play through, and that's it. I think I'm okay with this. Now I'm free to summon Ecclesia. And then we just go Ecclesia effect here, because obviously if he has Torrential Tribute, just summoning Tai would just play right into it. So I'm like, alright, let's try to get to a Moyi. Moyi reveal, because that gets us a free draw. Chixao gets us a search. Alright, so we just got two more back row to play through. So he sees I have another normal summon. At this point, I'm thinking that one of these are an engine card, like a Sanguine. So that's kind of like where I'm thinking right now. I'm like, okay, if he hasn't interrupted me this late, like, into Moyi, then this definitely is looking pretty promising. So he's thinking here. He's just gonna go ID or punishment here, which is yeah, I understand this 100%. Still haven't normaled though, so he didn't pop the token. I probably most definitely would have popped the token, even though, like, you know, this isn't live. I do have Adhara in the grave. So here I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking this last card is nothing. I'm like, yeah, this is definitely an engine card, and I'm pretty sure I was right. So I just summon Tai. And I just go Tai, we're going to banish Moyi because we're just going to add it back for follow-up with Adhara. I'm pretty sure that's what I added back, yeah, because that makes the most sense. And then we go Adhara effect, add back the Moyi. Realistically, I could have done this a little bit differently, looking back on it. I could have just, before I made it hard, because I would still have a token on the field, I did this just in case this last card was like a last ditch Torrential Tribute, and I didn't want to lose to it. So this was me playing it safe, but the best line of play would have probably been to go into Chixao and then search Emergence, banish a bunch for Protos, and then, I mean, I guess it would have all been the same because Moyu probably would have been the best card to add back. So either way, that's why I played it like I did. Um, but yeah, so we're going to do this. I probably could have added Tai back to hand for follow-up by banishing it for Protos. But Moyi works too to play the safe route. I was like, this is tough. Here I'm debating. I'm contemplating what to go into. I'm like, do I want to Baxia him, spin both back since it's not once per turn? Or do I just want to go into Chixao and get some recursion, get Vishuda, bounce the back row, or bounce Vishuda back to my hand? So those were the lines of plays I was thinking. I decided to go Chixao so I could search my emergence, and then Tai to send my second Vishuda. So yeah, we go ahead and get the emergence here, and then we just go ahead Vishuda, bounce my Vishuda just to get it back in hand. The reason why I did that is because he does have Wind Pegasus engrave. So I'm like, now at this point, I'm thinking this is for certainly an engine card, which is why I bounced the Vishuda back. Because I'm like, yeah, no, he doesn't have crap. So that was my read, and it turned out to be correct. So here I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to go Protos because I know he has Heavenly Prison. So, this line of play, I'm like, we're going to go Protos here so we can try to just call Dark and he can't bring out the prison guy. But then, that does bait the last back row. And from here, we're in a very good spot. So he goes Lord. And he's going to go ahead and set a pot card, which we are okay with. So here I have a couple choices. I'm like, could I Chixao swing over the engine card? No, because then he just shuffles back something with Wind Pegasus, probably Protos, and then he just has this big guy on the field. So I'm like, obviously the smart play here would be to Protos call Dark, and then he's gonna oh yeah. I try to go into battle phase, like try to rush him a little bit, see if he misses his effect, which he's like, okay, he lets the Haquero die, and then he activates it, shuffles back Protos, and I'm like, cute, that's fine. So now he has nothing. He has a pot card, which we trade with Ash. He drew another engine card. We are okay with this. Pot card, Ash. He's also at 4K, guys, so this is pretty much just game. Now he has one unknown. We are okay with this because he's going to set Scarlet, which our other Ash is going to trade with. Now we just go Vashuda, and this is why we left the token on the field. This token was our saving grace. I mean, obviously here in this position it didn't really matter, but I mean, if that was like a Torrential Tribute, if that was a skill drain, if that was anything other than an engine card, it would have made it very, very hard for me. I mean, not really, I guess, because he's at 4K, but I mean, you see my thought process. So, and then we just go Vishuda. Obviously, we got to circle first just in case. Got to play it safe in case it's like a punishment or something like that. And then Vishuda, bounce the unknown. And then we just summon Mo Yi. And then from here, this is just game because he has Scarlet, which Ash trades with. He's at 4K. So yeah, and then I do just kind of continue here just so you guys can see like where I could have went with it. Chixao search, emergence, Mo Yi draw again. And then obviously I'll just kind of speed through it. We go banish Ashina to get Hara. Link these or synchro these two into a Chao Fang. We know he doesn't have Nib, but I mean we have Summit, so we're just gonna be able to get back our Chixao. Like we're just like overextending here for game. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you like the lines of what we could do. This deck is actually insane. I am playing this for the YCS, not going to give away my list just yet. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys what was up. But yeah, with that being said, this is Alpha the Wizard. I did some rebranding to the channel. And yep, I will see you guys in the next one.